Talk about how you can avoid making your curtains look cheap. This is honestly one of the biggest problems when it comes to buying curtains and drapes. I feel like there's not a lot of middle ground between going custom and finding something affordable that looks cheap. Of course, going with custom curtains or drapery is the solution to all of this. But for most of us who are not going with custom, these are just some quick tips that I've learned throughout the years. First off, I shouldn't even have to say this, but this video would not be complete without it. We are absolutely under no circumstance ever purchasing curtains with grommets. That would be those curtains that have the pre-cut holes along the top line of the curtain and they have metal inserts. Aside from this just looking like a shower curtain, they also just look wrong on the rod. You can see pieces of the curtain rod in between each of these like pleats, I'll call them. This is the only curtain style that I know of that does this. The other ones just cover the entire bar and look a lot more put together. And one of the factors that I consider when I'm choosing curtains is how they will slide on the rod. And that's usually why I just opt for curtain rings. They solve this whole gliding problem. I think there is a time and a place for the type of curtains that sit directly on the rod, but this is never it. Honorable mention, this type of curtain that is like tightly hung on the rod. They leave like just enough space for the rod to fit in this top portion. And I just think about this like you have guests over and you're trying to open the curtains and you're like yanking on them because it's so tight and it just makes no sense to me. Hate these. Hate them. I would never do them. Here is my go-to, like I was saying, curtain rings. They solve all problems with gliding curtains on the rod. The curtain rings themselves and the hook that you use to attach the curtains are super cheap. You'd buy something like this and then you would also have to buy the hooks that attach the curtains to this. And those normally look like this. They also sell rings that have clips on them which attach the curtains directly so you don't have to buy two pieces. But I don't like when the clips are visible, so they would have to be a certain type of curtain that would allow for the clip to be lower. These are a specific type of curtain called pinch pleat, is already pre-pleated. You can DIY this too, but it might look not as like clean because they sell them pre-stitched like this so that it looks really clean and intentional when you're putting the hook ring right behind that. This also allows for a much cleaner stack because it's already predetermined how it's going to stack, if that makes sense. And there's also like 1,000 different types of pleats. So if this isn't your thing, I'm sure there's one out there that could be. Or it doesn't have to be pinch pleated at all. This is just a standard curtain where they placed it in between the normal loops. Sometimes pinch pleat is considered formal, so this is just like a more casual delivery of the same thing. I'll quickly touch on fabric. You're going for a very casual sheer type curtain in like an area where you want a lot of light. All these fabrics are trying to mimic linen, whether they are or they aren't because linen is expensive. They will purposely color or stitch the fabric in a way to mimic linen. And this is what a real linen fabric looks like. In my experience, linen is the best fabric for delivering this type of aesthetic. Something like cotton wouldn't really give you the same effect. And obviously, there's lots of different blends and faux linens out there, but this is the look that we are striving for. So if you can achieve that with any of those, then that's great. It'll definitely be cheaper. And then for drapes, which are usually a lot heavier and used for more light filtering purposes, these could literally be anything. I'm sure you've seen like velvet types of these. So my best advice for these would just be to stay away from anything plasticky or too stiff feeling. But honestly, free range here. I'm down for any type of drapes. I think all those fabrics are cool. With all that being said, this is obviously so dependent on the style of the home, the type of windows, like what you're trying to achieve in the room. So hopefully those were helpful. That's just like off the top of my head. If you want more detail, I'm happy to make a second video.